Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Arguing Art. This is our last episode on our series on the sliding scale of art. We should have done that one more often. I like that. Whoop.
We get it on the last one.
Yeah. On the last one we do it. We talked about successful versus unsuccessful art. Well, art preferences, and then successful versus unsuccessful art. This time we're going to cover the communication model of art. So, I'm Michael Luke.
And I'm Adam Sterner. Last time we spoke about successful versus unsuccessful art, and in that we introduced the idea of art communicating to the viewer, and we introduced the idea of channel noise. Now, a lot of this comes from an actual communication theory of, communication by Marshall McLuhan. Correct?
Yeah, I'm just surprised. I did not remember that at all.
And so, in this communication model, you have a sender, which would be us, and a receiver, which would be you. And along that path, like we're using this video as a channel, so that we can communicate our message to you. Just like the artist uses his painting, the author uses his novel, the filmmaker uses his film, in order to communicate their message, or their intended message, to the target viewer,
Right.
or the receiver.
So you have the sender, the channel, the message, and the receiver. Now, you can have issues with any part of this. I mean, if you drop any portion of this communication model, the whole thing's done.
Oh, yes.
You know, you can't do it without a sender. You can't do it without a receiver. You can't do it without a channel. You can't do it without a message. Well, I suppose you could, but that'd be like wildlife art. Hey-oh. Okay, so getting back to the idea of like channel noise, basically, like we were saying, that's anything that muddles that message, and the noise can come in at a number of different places too, like at the creation, at the all the way through like the final viewing experience. You know, channel noise can even be when it was getting transported and someone spilled their coffee on it.
Yeah,
you know,
they alter the the technical proficiency of the piece, which makes it less easy for you to discover what you are supposed to from the work.
Now there's a second version of this that includes feedback.
Yes. Go ahead.
I was to say that one's a little bit harder to do, or to fit, not to fit, but to understand, I guess. The feedback.
Well, the feedback is, it gets tricky when you're talking about art, because the feedback would be coming from the receiver to the sender, so that the sender knows that you're getting good communication. So that works great on something like Arguing Art, which you can leave us a comment and we know that we're getting our message across to you. Now, with a work of art, that artist may have been dead for hundreds of years, and it's very difficult for that feedback to come back to the sender. So it can be difficult with the work of art to know if it has been a successful communication or not.
How do you know?
It's extremely difficult unless somebody actually goes to the author and gives them feedback, which feedback could be buying the painting.
Yep.
It could be requesting more gallery shows from that artist.
Yep.
When all of those things are indicators of feedback to the to the artist, letting them know that their communication is successfully reaching someone.
Well, and this is where we ran into the idea of maybe the sender is not the artist, but the piece.
Yes.
Okay. So you still have the same setup: sender, communication, or sender, channel, message, receiver. Just replace the artist with the work of art. And then the channel is that viewing experience wherever that happens, if it's at a gallery or coffee shop, you know. So then that feedback would actually feed into the mystere or story, I guess, about the
Yep, the
piece.
legacy of the work of art.
Yes, the legacy.
Yep, that's why everybody knows what the Mona Lisa is.
Yep.
Because even though Leonardo da Vinci's been gone for a long time, his work is still sending that message to people.
Yes.
So the Mona Lisa has become the sender. The original sender, Leo. The new sender, the Mona Lisa.
Well, and then all that feedback with everyone saying, yes, this is a fantastic piece. Yes, this is a fantastic piece. Is it really a fantastic piece because it's fantastic, or is it fantastic because we've been told so?
Yep.
I think Primavera, Botticelli's Primavera, is a really good example of that. It was originally done as a commission. It was this giant, like, backboard for a sofa, and it sat for a couple hundred years. Nobody thought anything about it. It wasn't very popular or anything. I mean, it was a commissioned piece up in someone's living room. And then in the late 1800s, I believe, it was rediscovered by a group of artists, and that's when it actually started to get popular. So Botticelli's been dead for a long, long time, but the context, that feedback that ended
Yes.
up coming in then created a situation, created that context needed for the painting, the sender, to start sending its message, cleared up some of that channel noise.
Yep. So it creates the painting or the work of art as the idea of the sender. The artist is the creator of the sender. The channel is how you're viewing it or your viewing experience. And the receiver is you. Your feedback goes back into the legacy of the work or the legacy of the artist, letting you know whether you purchased their paintings while they're alive, they
Yep.
get the message, or if they didn't, in the case of the Primavera, you come back and it's the legacy of the work. Everybody understanding how, the increased appreciation of it.
Does that make sense? Hopefully. It's not terribly complicated, but to actually apply it is where it starts to get a little complicated. Do you buy into the sender or the artist as the sender, or the piece as the sender? How would you adjust the communication model? Let us know. Drop us some comments.